So I do not have Winnie the Pooh. So this is something called Molka, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to talk about the wonderful performance of Yuzuru Hanyu at the Beijing Olympics. Now, I have been watching figure skating ever since my childhood, and I thought I knew the competition well, but I didn't know that. I realized that while watching Yuzuru Hanyu on the Tohoku Shinkansen train on the way to Morioka yesterday. And, it was simply moving, Yuzuru Hanyu's performance on ice. And although Nathan Chen won the gold medal, and congratulations, there's no doubt that his performance was superb, and he was, he really deserved the gold medal. There's no doubt about that. And the same goes for Kagiyama and Uno. These were really excellent athletes, and they deserve the silver medal and bronze medal. The performances were superb. Having said that, to be fair, I think Yuzuru Hanyu's performance was arguably the best artistically. From artistic point of view, forgetting the accuracy of the spins and jumps and so on, and forgetting the fact that Hanyu Yuzuru successfully jumped a quad axel for the first time in a formal competition. Forgetting all of that, I think it's fair to say that Hanyu Yuzuru's performance on ice in the Beijing Olympics was the most sublime artistic expression you can imagine in that sports of figure skating. So when you think about that, what is figure skating all about? Of course, you have scores and you have world records, and the medals are decided on that score. And of course, in that score, there would be some evaluations of the artistic values. But having said that, at the end of the day, figure skating is a sport, and the medals are decided on the strength of all these scores, which are based on sporting merits, if you like, and not so much on artistic values. But in terms of artistic values, the sheer moving expression of human bodies on the ice, I think Hanyu Yuzuru's performance was arguably the very best in the Beijing Olympics this time. And I'm not saying this as someone who has known Yuzuru Hanyu's life, in some detail. For example, Yuzuru Hanyu was on the skating rink when the great East Japan earthquake happened, and he had to lie on the ice to endure the shaking of the ground. And after that, Hanyu Yuzuru has been doing the figure skating in order to encourage the people of the Tohoku area who were really affected by the great earthquake. We know what kind of superhuman efforts Yuzuru Hanyu has been putting into his skating. So all these things naturally comes to your mind when you watch Yuzuru Hanyu perform on ice in the Beijing Olympics. But apart from that, if you look at Yuzuru Hanyu's performance from purely artistic point of view, I think his performance was arguably the way more differences, the very best of all the athletes in the Beijing Olympics this time. So his position might be the fourth place. He didn't win the medals this time. But in terms of artistic impression, the effect that it has on your mind, and the vividness of memory, and the sheer complexity and richness of expression, I think Yuzuru Hanyu's performance was the best. But there's no medal for that kind of artistic achievements, which is sadly true. And you think about the essence of figure skating there, and you feel that probably the medals don't count. Well, medals do count, but the value of the you know figure skating itself cannot be actually assessed by the number of medals or the positions and so on. Having said that, I think it's fair to say that because of the competition, people are drawn to the sport. I mean, if this was a pure artistic event, probably people wouldn't, not so many people wouldn't watch the event. I mean, because it's a competition, because gold medals and silver medals and bronze medals are handed out, people watch them with such an intense emotion. So there's something to be said about the competition in terms of sport. But, that is just a gadget that we use to, have this arena of interest, if you like, of the figure skating. But the essence of figure skating is in the artistic value. And in that respect, I am convinced that Yuzuru Hanyu was the best performer, and his performance would stay in our memory for long, long time, for many years to come. So here's to Yuzuru Hanyu, a really great artist, in addition to being a great athlete. And I'm sorry, I don't have Winnie the Pooh. This is a Moruka, a Japanese anime figure, and I really thank Yuzuru Hanyu for all the best all the effort and the performance that he gave at the Beijing Olympics, and I hope he will keep inspiring us in the years to come. So here's to Yuzuru Hanyu, and thank you for listening.